Hey guys, Rounded TikTak here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are bringing you the long requested, long awaited, I believe, at least in my eyes, this was what it means, the 2x1. This is what everyone was suggesting that I do next, so I'm bringing it to you. This is the 2x1 as suggested by you guys, at least my interpretation on it. No one actually left me their gamer tag to show me or anything, so I figured that I'll do it myself and figure out a 2x1 by me. I'm going to show you how to build it, of course, but you guys also asked for me to give you more gameplay of how it works. So I'm going to bring you that as well, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So first up, let's check out how do you build this version of the 2x1. And if I have it wrong and this isn't the 2x1 you're talking about, just let me know down in the comments below. Leave me your gamer tag so I can add you and you can show me your ideas. I'd love to hear about them. Let me see what you got. Let me see if it can beat mine. Let's get into this. This is the best trap tunnels, part 3. Another dramatic reenactment. Once again, we're going to use this incredible dramatic reenactment to get my point across to you guys. We're going to pretend that these pillars are the husks, this is the spawn, and this is where you're trapping. Number one, you always have to close off the sides, so once again, we're going to build barrier walls, which is just a plain wall with a stair with another wall behind it. This deters the husks from breaking through, and you can actually get them to path correctly. This might actually be called an L-shaped tunnel, but when I asked my community what a 2x1 was, this is what they said. I had an idea, and although I think it might be another trap tunnel, don't worry, we'll cover that one in the series as well. This one is pretty damn efficient though, so all you're going to want to do is make sure to build like this. You're always going to want to put counter walls on the corner, well, not the corners, but the end of the hallways. And they're important because that is what's going to slow down the husks the most. Now, as I'm just sitting here upgrading, remember this little corner right there, you need to put a barrier wall there too. This is what differentiates it from a regular timeout box or a 2x2 or anything to that effect. This is the reason this tunnel is so efficient. These pushers right here on the opposite walls. You're not going to want to put pushers on the other ones because they will push the husks closer to the objective, not farther away. And depending on which way the spawn is facing, you have 3 chances to deter or push back the husks before they get remotely close to your objective. And in fact, doing so, you'll see in the videos I'm going to show you, it might be just too good. It really, nothing, I didn't even have to shoot, put it that way. I did not even have to shoot. Now, I always like doing floor spikes, freeze trap, floor spike, but you don't have to do it that way. You can use just floor spikes, you can use just freeze traps, or if you just want to go full DPS, do burning traps or retractable floor spikes. Either one of those works. Now, here's I messed up here. You cannot use these in this build, even though I suggest using them in almost every other tunnel build there is. This one, it kind of messes up the pushers from actually pushing them back. If they're not walking exactly perfectly, they're going to get pushed into that, and you really lose a lot of distance from the pushers. Of course, up top, you're going to add your gas traps, and that's it. That's your tunnel. You can keep the mouth open like this, or you can close it off one way depending on the spawn. In this particular reenactment, I need to keep it open or just close off this one wall. Then I realize that I can't close off this one wall because it'll mess up the pusher. So this is how I have it set up. But remember, I did say those mid walls are a problem in this instance. So let's get into some footage. You can see how effective this tunnel is and why you just might not need all of this. I like to do trap tunnel testing on bomb missions. The reason for this is because I really enjoy them not moving. The spawn's not moving and letting you guys see the full impact of the trap tunnel. Otherwise, the spawn moves, you only get a minute of gameplay before it switches, and you basically not waste your resources, but you waste your time trying to record, I can tell you that much. So as I'm building this tunnel, again, I do frost trap, spike, instead of just all floor spikes. I just really like having variety in the builds. In this particular tunnel, on the opposite walls where you're not going to place the pushers, I placed wall dynamos. Wall dynamos hit like a truck, and honestly, this was a bit too much damage. They didn't even make it out of the first tile. Also, remember to use this. When you can kite them with half wall pieces or half triangle pieces, use them. Absolutely use them, because like I said earlier, the more time they have on a tile, the more instances of damage they receive or have opportunity to receive being stunned, knockbacked, or frozen. So in this particular tunnel, I happen to use wall dynamos and pushers the same way you saw me build it with Sid. Now again, like I said, you got to use your blocker so you can kite them the way you want. I doubled this one up just in case because the spawn was really close. I actually got really lucky with this mission and the spawn. This is a 94 regular mission. I also usually test on 4-man missions so you can really see how well these tunnels work, but they just weren't available at the time. And like I said, I like doing these particular things on bomb missions. However, this mission, 4-man missions didn't exist at the time, and this was back then technically the second hardest mission in the game. Before 4-man missions, 94s were the area to go in, and I used to honestly do almost all of my testing primarily in 94s until they continued to make the character stronger and the enemies a little bit weaker. But as you guys can see, they don't even make it out of the first tile, and on top of that, the top one has level 82 gas traps, underpowered gas traps, and it still destroys them. The bottom right tunnel has regular 106s, I believe. I didn't want to use 130s because I knew for a fact that they were just gonna die. I think I might actually have to make a video about how floor spikes are the most underrated item in the game. Even though they're not underrated, maxing them out, making them hit for a lot harder, you might just need those. So remember, once again, you always want to build your blocker to make sure they path correctly. You always want to use the wall pushers on opposite sides of the tunnel. Never push them towards your objective, always push them away. The other walls, you're free to use wall dynamos, stun lights, and or wall darts. All 3 of them are fantastic, do a lot of damage, maybe too much damage, and really let the tunnel shine. If you have room to build one of these pillars that makes them kite a little bit longer, remember to do so, because it really helps out your damage. And plus, it looks pretty badass if I have to say so myself. As you can see here, the footage proves itself. It just does way too much damage. It's too good. It's too good. I think the next tunnel we're going to do is a minimalistic build. Barely any traps built, barely any tunnels built, the smallest you can possibly go for the maximum amount of efficiency. I really enjoy building this. Kenjiro, you know, the guy who always helps me out, helped me make this one, and I really like it. One last thing to mention actually is you can extend this tunnel forever, for infinity and beyond. You can just keep adding those half wall sections into them and just keep capping the backs and keep turning it into like a serpentine pattern. And no matter how many gas traps you need, granted you're not going to need many, or how many traps or tunnels you may need, you can use this in almost every single instance. Once again, even if it's on an angle, granted I like using my other one a little better, the first trap tunnel video, but this one works just as well. Just make sure to remember to keep that mouth open if it is at an angle, because otherwise they'll find another way through. Now, you do not need to trap this heavily in most games anymore, but for your SSDs, for things like that, these are definitely 100% the way to go. That's really it, guys. This is your 2x1, or otherwise known as the L-shaped trap tunnel. If it breaks, it's only 3 tiles. It takes 2 seconds to throw back up, you can do it really fast and get your trap tunnels back up. Again, look out for propanes and things like that. What's gonna be next is probably, like I said, gonna be that minimalistic build, maybe a 1x1, and see how well we can make that work. Stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I taught you how to build it. You don't need to see the perks on the traps, just level them up the best you think. Crit damage probably on the gas traps, and the effect durations on anything else. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to learn live, make sure to stop by my Twitch at twitch.tv/roundedtiktak. If you want to support the channel in another way, if you're buying V-Bucks, make sure to use my creator code. It's OOTikTakOO. And if you purchase anything, you know how it works. Thank you guys so much. If you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe. It really does help out. I hope you guys have a happy new year. I'll see you on the next one, probably tomorrow. TikTak out.